Hello and welcome to Sporting Jibberish. I'm Stu Booth.
I'm Jack Luffman.
It is
very dapper in your golf gear, look.
Yeah, this is a special Sporting Jibberish one. So before we get going and we talk about the show, we have another challenge.
Yep.
Tonight's challenge, are we just going to pass it straight over to the guys at the live event?
Yeah, let's go there now.
I just check. Yeah, they're ready to go. And over to you guys at the event. Hi guys, this week's challenge is where, Jack?
We're at Top Golf. Bit of change of plan. We're at Top Golf in Dubai. It is class, I would say. It's absolutely red hot, Stu, isn't it? Like,
I think he's getting excuses in early doors.
No. Like, we'll talk a bit more on the pod we do, but we're at Top Golf. I'm challenging him first of all to what they call the traditional game. So it's about hitting targets, get as many points as you can, and then we'll see where we're after that.
Right, well, Jack, no pressure, but this should be a give me for you, being an experienced pro, and absolutely 3 weeks for me.
You up first, Stu.
I'm off. We're not going to put the big guy under pressure early doors, but we're going to get the camera out on the first shot. Stu scored 9 points so far. What's Jack going to get? Oh, he's pulled it right. He is getting a big fat 0. And that's picked him up. Hey, Jack, you almost got in the bunker. Unlucky, mate. It's a great start. I lost the ball. So just a quick update. We'll have a quick look at the score. You see that there. 112 points to Stu, 18 to Jack. He's probably just missed his last shot as well. How'd you get on, Jack? Oh, he's not happy, bunny. Oh, he actually scored 3 points. So, first game completed. Stu, 112 points. Jack, 21. Yeah, good effort, Jack.
But to be fair, in the first activity, Stu's absolutely wiped the floor with me. We're now looking at playing Pebble Beach in back 9 of Pebble Beach. So this is for par, Stuart. We are playing Pebble Beach, third hole. Very difficult to get the distance right. So he's got to basically chip it for the par or bogey. So see what happens. Not bad. Let's see what the computer says.
Computer says you're terrible.
Double bogey.
Right, look. I'll tell you what, I couldn't be happier because, as I said to him, I've been a little bit mind games with Jack. Obviously, it wasn't our original plan.
No, so the original plan was to play like the par 3, wasn't it? But whatever.
Tell you how he's not happy, is he? This was, I was giving him grief all the time, giving him this is a give me, you know, like it's a free week for me. It's a bit like Man City playing Watford. That's what it's probably even better. It's probably Man City playing Lincoln City. So I had absolutely no chance of winning anything, and I've only gone and snook. I won one of the.
Yeah,
I said snook. There was nothing sneaky about it.
100%. We had managed to get 2 challenges in this. The first one's just like a points-based one where you hit it into targets where you annihilate now, don't you? Yeah. By about 100 points, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was when you were going into your last 2 goals. I was 90 something points up.
Oh, okay, so
that's what I was saying to you. The only saving grace is that I didn't beat you by 100.
Uh-huh.
I think it might have been 86 or something
like that. A mauling, let's say.
It was good goal. But then the second one was obviously playing a virtual 9-holer.
So we played the back 9 of Pebble Beach virtual,
which has got to be the longest back hole. Everyone was like a par 5.
There wasn't a par 3 in it, was there? They were all long par 4s and then all par 5. Yeah, so it's good fun that. Yeah. But it's a bit tricky when you get to like near the green because you have to hit a target, and it's a bit tricky. But I did get one back there, so
you hammered me on that one. I think it was. I was plus 22 and you were plus 11 or something.
Plus 11, yeah. So that was. So we managed to get 2 challenges in the air at Top Golf, 1-1. So it's what it is. It's good fun.
Score is now 3-2.
3-2. So it's okay. And your challenge is next, but good. That it's hot though, wasn't it?
It was hot. I think for anybody that's going to go and have a go at Top Golf, I think for your experienced players, the virtual 9 or the virtual 18 would be a bit of a good giggle. But I think the hardest was I kept finding bunkers.
Yeah.
But because you can't see where the bunkers are, and you're just aiming for a flag.
Yeah, and it was that last, it's hole 18 at Pebble Beach in the water. I was kind of just trying to whack it straight, I mean, in the water twice.
Yeah.
Whereas actually, when you do have to actually direct it a little bit. But I think for anybody there for a good crack, big bay, I don't think it's too bad at a price.
No.
For
What
an
was it?
hour?
130 Ds. But if you go on a certain time, Monday to Thursday, before 4 o'clock, you can actually get by 1 hour, get another.
Yeah, and that's all the way to the end of August or so. So
Was it August?
yeah,
Wow.
so a good family day out, and you can drink. The food and drink's good there. They do a brunch, don't they? If you want to go there, I mean that must be carnage. Good job those nets.
I was going to say I don't know what state we'd be in by the time we've done brunch, but yeah, good giggle, good laugh, well worth doing.
3-2.
So it's up to my challenge now. I'm not
Yep.
going to say anything more. We'll wait and see and find out, and let Jack
Look
in
forward.
for a nice little bit of surprise. But yeah,
forward
really
to
good.
it.
Happy news. Right, rest of the show we're going to talk a little bit about the cricket because
Oh,
didn't expect it to happen. They've won 2
What?
games in a row. We're going to talk a little bit about transfer rumours and things that are going through as we speak, which is good news for me.
England footy.
We're trying to stay away from international football because it's boring and a waste of space, but we will cover a little bit about English football. But we're going to start with the OG competition.
Yes, we've got another pair of socks to give away.
Yeah, congratulations, Matt, on winning this week.
Matt won this week, so you'll see him with his other pair. So we've got another pair of socks. So the question is this. I've just forgotten the question. The name.
Lynn. You're going to bamboozle me now. It's something Lynn.
Lynn. Let me get back to you later in the show. We'll have a look at. Yeah, we'll get back to that.
He's gone completely. You know what this reminds me of? Reminds me of that time we did the live interview with Do, and I had a complete brain freeze.
Yeah, I've had a brain
and
freeze.
I couldn't remember for love nor money what I was going to ask him.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll change the question because I was just thinking of another one.
Okay, are you going to think of another one right now?
Yeah, I'm going to think of another one right now. Related to cricket, we're going to go on to now talk.
Okay.
So England have just won their second test match in a row. But who is the new England cricket coach?
Ooh, nice.
Appointed, well, probably less than 4 weeks ago. Had a good start to his tenure. Who is the new England cricket coach?
Nice Australian guy.
Correct. First people to answer through our Instagram page gets a pair of OG socks. They're lovely. I've got mine on again tonight. The other pair. Lovely. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's
right.
it.
Good. Right, so we'll stick on cricket. So what could only describe as the first innings for both England basically cancelled out New Zealand's awesome effort, 553
I think
was it
it was,
53,
yeah.
and then England might be a little bit disappointed because they got up to 400 and something with, was it 5 wickets left, and then only put 30 or 40 on for the last 5, which I think might be a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, but basically the idea was, somebody said to me, how did they get so much cricket to 5 days, well less than 5 days, and obviously talk about the final day, but basically what their point was there is that when they came out, what day was it, day 3, and I think Roots reverse lap the quick lad's second ball, so they're going to try and take time out of the game, so they want to try and get close to them but also give themselves enough time to potentially win the game. So the 20 or 30 runs either way is not really an issue, so that's what they were trying to do. They probably felt they could get power to even a little bit 20 run lead, but they got within 14. Our tail's a bit worrying in a minute. Yeah. It starts at 8 without any question. So cracking innings from Pope, cracking innings from Root, unbelievable. He's gone to #1 in the world now, so that's class. But yeah, so power. And then when it games like that, for those, not particularly into Test cricket or the longer version of the game,
Are they friendly cricket?
Yeah. That third innings becomes really tricky. Because clearly you're setting a target to win, and on at Trent Bridge on what was a really good pitch, it wasn't completely flat, there's a bit in it for the bowlers. That becomes really tricky because you've got to get enough runs in order to, so you're not giving it a low total, and you've got to take time out of the game, but the pressure comes with it. So I thought actually what will get overlooked in the fact that, and we'll talk about the last day in a minute, is England's effort with the ball in that third innings to sort of bowl them out for 284 was a really, really good effort.
Even though they got in a lot of trouble for that.
Well, this morning they've just been fined 40% of the match fee and docked 2 championship test points, which, look, I've got a fish in the car, the overrate is an issue. The easy fix is just make them bowl. They should bowl 9 overs in a day. Whoever's bowling, wherever it is in the world, that's what should be bowled. So bowl them.
Yeah.
As long as light and the weather conditions fine, bowl the overs, and if that means them being out there till 7:30 at night, so be it. Because I tell you what, they'll soon get it through. So if it doesn't happen, so England have done it and now they've just been fine. I don't know how that works.
40%'s a lot of money.
Yeah, and I don't understand how that works when there's 22 overs left in the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, for the flip side of that, England obviously then see this target, go and hit the target to win the game, and there's still obviously 20 overs left at the end. So in earnest, when you look back at it, there is no issue with regards to the bowling because the game was actually finished within the 5 days. So again, that slightly confuses me. And obviously, this is some rules some Toffers made up. Some conservative guy, Charlie, that hasn't got a clue about sport or the dreams of the world.
ICC.
Or life
but
in general.
What a great day. So Trent Bridge, I don't know if you know this, Stu, actually. Trent Bridge announced towards the end of day 4 that tickets for day 5 were free.
Wow.
Those people who purchased them would get a refund, which is unbelievable. So it's full house, 17,000 there. And England managed to get them bowled out. 299 target in about 72 overs. And they've got them in almost like 1 day, mate. They've got it 6 and over.
Excellent.
Unbelievable. Bairstow will never play anything like it. I must admit, I was very surprised at what the New Zealanders did after tea, because before tea it was nip and tuck. They needed 160 runs in the evening session at just over 4 and over, which that was basically the kind of run rate for the whole Test match, certainly in England's first innings. Yes, Bairstow and Stokes at the crease, but you then got Folkes, the wicketkeeper, who's a good player in his own right, but he's not naturally doesn't go massively quick all the time. And then you've got the bowlers. I just thought that New Zealand got a bit bored too quickly and they went short stuff, and Bairstow just kept whacking it further. Did you hear his quote in his interview? Apparently he's going like, when you do that, he top edge one and went for 4 still. Apparently Stokes went, do not try and hit it in the floor, hit it to the back of the stand. My boss will. 136 off 80 something balls, second fastest 100 by an Englishman of all time.
But the most impressive thing from the whole 5 days has got to be the excitement of when Root passed the kebab over.
Unbelievable. So if you've not seen it, get yourselves on Twitter. So obviously Tuesday night after the Test match, the boys, there's some great images of Stuart Broad having a glass of red and a big cigar like a la Botham. But then there's some footage around, very harmful footage. Obviously the lads have gone out into Nottingham somewhere and they're at the kebab shop, aren't they? And they're well oiled, let's say. And anyway, Root's ordering and Jimmy Anderson's in the background like a little kid, and then all of a sudden this big kebab comes out and it's massive, isn't it? And he hands it over like some other customers to Ollie Pope, just got a Test match under, and he just looks at it like it's gold. He's so happy, isn't he?
It's like he's just got the 100.
Probably got a bigger smile on his face. Dirty great kebab. So brilliant win, great atmosphere around the team again. It's amazing what that new coach can do, or a new mindset can do. So 2-0 up ones.
So the next one starts next
week at Headingley. So that's 3 matches, and then they've got, and I can't remember which order it is, they've got 1 match to play against New Zealand, Test match. That's the decider from last summer, because you probably won't remember, but they had to go home. He got to cancel because of COVID.
Probably slept since then. Or
during it. Yes, they've got 1 more Test match. I can't remember which way round it is. 1 more Test match against New Zealand, then 1 against India, and then there's a match series against South Africa before they travel to this part of the world, actually Pakistan in the autumn, winter. So a good start. Enjoy it. I think they're definitely going to do it, but there's still some issues to look at. But good. Looking
good at the moment. Right. So moving swiftly on, we'll have a little look at the transfers. What's currently going on. Bad news if you are a Spurs fan, or in fact an Ericsson fan, because the rumour is that United are ramping up their interest and potentially putting an offer on the table for Ericsson. So what's your viewpoint on that?
I think the thing is with that, I think he's always said in the past that he'd quite like, when he was at Spurs, I think it was always a move that could have happened. So it doesn't surprise me that Manchester United are testing the waters there. I think from what you read, it looks like Brentford is a no-go now. I think he wants Champions League football. I think the fact that he's kind of proved his fitness, he's played all these 4 games for I was going to say Norway there, Denmark. So I mean, I've said before that Spurs on a free, would I have him? Absolutely, I would have him. So let's not rule that out. But
and another one on a free, Gareth Bale. who's ruled out Getafe.
Yeah, that was quite funny.
It's literally just my hands on Getafe. That's not happening.
I do quite like his laissez-faire attitude.
He does have an element where he wants to keep his family in Spain.
Yeah.
So then could you imagine if he went to Atletico?
I don't know where he's got to play some more football, hasn't he?
He's got to get fit for
the World Cup.
Keep himself.
Because let's be honest, if he played 29 minutes of football, I think, between Wales' last game and then the playoff.
Probably suits his body better.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to play week in, week out in England in the Championship.
But you look at that might suit him going to Atletico Madrid better.
Yeah, in the heat and things like that. Because I actually think, Wales just get the best of what they've got, and they've got some good talent in there. With a fit Bale and a fit Ramsey, that could cause an upset to the World Cup, I think.
I don't think so.
But without them, they've got no chance.
Yeah.
I don't know what group. It depends what group they're going into. They're in our group. They should get out of the group.
Us, America, Iran.
Well, despite our recent results, it should be us and Wales should get out of the group.
Well, right. We're going to go to them in a second.
Yeah.
But the other one is
you're going to be
Nunes Darwin, who I've been raving about for months. Deal has finally gone through. It's currently at 60 million, can go up to 85 million with add-ons and obviously clauses that would happen in the future. Interesting that United fans have been jumping on the bandwagon of this and giving local fans some stick, saying, "Oh, you guys never spend any money. You guys only develop players." Blah 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 blah. Well, yes, you are right. We have spent money on Alisson. We have spent money on Van Dijk, just like everybody else has. But if you look at our net spend, we're in a much better position than Man United. Probably a much better position than Everton with regards to the money that we've spent. And we bought a young, exciting prospect. Obviously, people are going to make comparisons straight away with Haaland.
Yeah.
They're different types of players. Nunes can play out on the right as well as centre forward. Haaland's just through the middle. That's it. You see what happened there. But this guy could upset a few people. And looking at the World Cup, see how he gets in Liverpool. But he'd be one of mine that I'd edge in for the old fancy football.
In the World Cup.
For the World Cup fancy football.
Yeah.
Because I think he'll do well. But yeah, chuffed to bits. Really happy with that. Signed a 6-year contract. So really good, which then in turn means that Mane is going to go.
Yeah.
But Liverpool are holding strong and said this is what you need to hit. I think both sides are quite confident they'll get to an agreement eventually.
So is that Bayern still?
With Bayern,
Yeah.
Nobody else is even in the running. I think they've had a few offers from a few other clubs, but I think he's basically just said he wants to go to Bayern, and that's him done and dusted. Which, in flip side, would then make it interesting what happens Lewandowski, because, and this leads on to the next one, Chelsea and Lukaku. Lukaku is now, after we talked about this last week, has agreed to take a wage cut in order to make the move back to Inter Milan, which then opens the door for Lewandowski to come into Chelsea.
I think I did see that the Man United would sort of link with it. I think Man United's biggest problem is they're not Champions League football, and I don't think, and this is not talking about the history of the club, I don't think they've got the pulling power necessary that they once have for a player like Lewandowski. I know he's coming towards the twilight of his career, but he'll still want to play Champions League football. So I don't think the pull of, I'm playing for Man United, and because they're so far away from winning the league, I think they're going to struggle to get something. So I think that is the more natural move. Lukaku will go there, Lewandowski to Chelsea, Champions League.
That's why I thought initially United would go for Nunes Darwin, which they did go in for, but Liverpool also went in. And I think Liverpool wouldn't have gone in if the Mane thing hadn't arisen.
So I think it's good signing, and I think Liverpool said before, it's a good model. They kind of shift people out, don't they? Well, because they worked. I'm guessing they worked to a budget. Well, a lot of other clubs.
I'm looking at it now. You've got the Irish goalkeeper's back up. You've got Trent, who's quite young. You've got Gomez, Canante. Robertson's still got a bit of legs in there. Midfield will need bolstering at some point, but you've got Harvey Elliott in there. You're probably looking at maybe another one to maybe, depends how well Curtis Jones get on. But then you look at that front line now, Jota's probably the oldest at 25. You've got Nunes at 22, and then you've got Diaz at 23. So I know people are a bit like, oh, you're going to lose Salah, we are going to lose Salah at some point, but I think what we have done is probably the old Man United project, is that we've now got a good supply line of really talented young players that are coming through. And there's a young lad that I mentioned before the podcast who's a right winger, but he's left-footed, called Gordon, who again, I think we might see a little bit more of him next season. Popping in and around the Liverpool squad. But yeah, really happy. Early business is good business.
Yeah, I think that's
because then you don't feel like we need to make a key signing. We've done that, and other than maybe looking at another centre midfielder, maybe like Tillemans or somebody like that, they don't really need to go out and get anything else. They've got some quality in the youth to bring through. So
yeah, no, I think it's a good sign, and it's like I say, it's good to get. It's the difference between Spurs and they've done some early business, and it looks like they're going to do some more this week with Bissouma. I don't know how highly I rate him. I think when you see him, he sort of gets around the park. He's got a bit about him, but he's only 24. And if we can get him somewhere 25 to 30 million, I would say that's good business. They've got Thingy on Perisic on a free. They can get Eriksen on a free, and then go big for the one at centre half. I think they want a right wing back. They're talking about that Jed Spence from Middlesbrough.
Middlesbrough,
12 million, they reckon.
Wow,
plus there'd be obviously add-ons, wouldn't there? And then the only one I'm a bit and eyeing about is I've been linked with Richarlison this week.
Yes, I've seen that, and so have Arsenal.
Yeah,
so kind of floating between the two of them.
I don't know where he fits in. I know he can play wide or as a target man,
but his temperament.
That's my concern, because the temperament of coming in and he's not going to get in that first front three. Fact. So how does he manage that? I'd rather be going for somebody else, I think. Or the talk of like the deal came that maybe Winks and maybe Lucas Moura goes the other way. I'd rather keep Moura than Richarlison, even though I think Richarlison's a better player, particularly goal output, but squad wise and temperament wise,
you don't need a bad apple, do you?
No, I agree.
But yeah,
I think I've remembered the golfer.
Oh, you remembered your question?
So it's not the question I'm asking you here. So Lynn Grant, tell me.
I was right with Lynn.
Yeah,
Lynn
Grant. I think it's Lynn Grant. Tell me. If I've got that name wrong, I'm sorry.
First ever person to win a live golf competition.
No. So that was actually Schwarzel last week, wasn't it? Big Saudi Arabia live thing. No, so she was the first person to win a mixed event on the European Tour, the DP World Tour, in the Scandinavian Open. She beat Henrik Stenson, the Ryder Cup captain, by a comfortable margin. So she, in a mixed field, she was the first woman to win an official event.
Amazing.
-14. So sparked me on. We've got a little bit of time about what other sports could women and men actually compete together at, do you think? So golf, I think they can.
Tennis, I reckon.
Because it's not all about, in golf, it's not all about massively distance all the time. When you think about it, it's only the real big hitters.
Do you not think that, because you can hit the ball so far?
Yeah, but I think unless you would like the Chambos and the McIlroys and they were hitting it miles, the other, I don't want to say average players, but the other guy, I think the women aren't that far behind them, some of the big hitting women. I don't think it would be a regular occurrence where a woman win necessarily because of the distance, but I think it could be competitive.
Yeah,
and I just don't know what other sport. I know like things like 3-day event in horse racing and that is already standard.
Yeah, you're talking about, unfortunately, the genetics, and unfortunately men are designed to be faster and stronger than women because women's bodies are designed different ways. So I don't know, maybe this could be transgender games. You could look at this.
I think
have men, women and the in-betweeners.
Oh dear, on that note, we probably ought to move on.
On that note, we're gonna because we're gonna step back with football. We're gonna talk about the flop that's international football. So I hate international football, as I continuously tell people, and Jack was mentions on the podcast. It's absolute waste of time, some of these games. And I know they tried to win the EuroLeague in order to try and make it a little bit more competitive, but he's treated it like it's international friendlies. And my question is after getting an absolute drubbing 4-0 at home to Hungary, with you're talking about your fringe England players that would be looking at making that squad for the World Cup, has he dropped that much of a ball that he's put his job at risk?
For me, I don't think his job should be at risk. However, I do think that narrative will definitely be around now because of what you said. We talked about last week, I think, or even the week before, that was such awful timing for every nation. And the thing that I think frustrated me a little bit, if he'd gone into the 4 games and gone, we're going to win all 4 games, it's proper competitive football, I'm literally playing my best team. And then if Sterling's not fit or he needs to recover the next game, then I'll play. But he's not. He's trying to mix and match, and I kind of get that. But then if he was going to do that, why not then go, do you know what, Raheem Sterling, Harry Kane,
Phil Foden, particularly after he got COVID. Trent's going to be in the squad without that. These guys, Pickford in goal even, these guys who are definites, I've gone on it, and literally play the fringe players for 4 games, trying to mix it match. It's backfired. I think ultimately that do the results really matter? They don't really want to get relegated from Group A. I think it's more.
They need to beat Italy now.
They need to beat Italy. I think it's more. What worries me is more the fact that their performances were bad, and that comes from mixing and matching and chopping and changing tactics. No bloody left-footed defender in the side, ridiculous. All things like that. But I think I said to you this morning, what worries me even more now, and I think he's got credit in the bank because he's been the most successful manager outside of Alf Ramsey. However, when there'll be a bit of things in the press these next 48 hours, then it will die down. Then we've got the start of the Premiership, so that'll be forgotten. But then when that September camp comes on, and they've got Italy and Germany, Italy in I think the San Siro, I think they're playing, Germany at home, they've got to win both the games effectively, I think, to avoid that relegation. Even before the games, that negative narrative's going to be around, and how is that going to affect those 2 games? If then those performances results are really poor, then what do you do?
I tell you what, I think he's in a world of trouble, but I think for me even more so is the fact that he played all these games and scored 1 goal by a penalty.
Yeah.
That's a real big concern.
And you know what? It's not like you can sit and miss a load of chances. I've watched majority of the games. Sterling missed an open goal against Germany, and Bowen missed a good chance early yesterday.
And I would argue that Germany not the side they used to be.
No.
Hungary are not.
Well,
they're not going to win any competition.
And Italy against us played their second string.
And Italy haven't qualified for the World Cup.
So we've not created anything. Like Kane at the bar last night, but it was a self-created effort. Other things similar, long-range effort. So that would be more of a worry. He did highlight, didn't he, that they've got to stop relying on Kane and Sterling to score the goals.
Well, it's not even like we're drawing the games 0-0 and then we're hoping sneak ball.
I think, you might disagree, but I think he's got had criticism for playing 3 centre-halves because people perceive that as a defensive thing. I think that's our best system because A, it keeps us tight. It allows him to play Kyle Walker, who gets us out of trouble. I would play those 3 centre-halves. I'd play Trent probably high and wide, and a left winger high, left-sided player, Saka, quite happy Saka play left and right, and then go through that way.
He's not covered himself in glory though,
I mean, nobody has to be honest, but I don't know. The other thing that you look around a bit of Twitter, the fact that a certain fella from PSG looks like he's going to get sacked, who I think the British public love, not just Spurs fans. I think the British public like the way he plays football. That's not going to help him either.
Yeah.
So for me, I think he keeps his job, but you can almost see a bit of a Roy Hodgson situation coming on. If they lose or don't perform well in September,
leading into the World Cup.
That's not ideal.
If you're going to make the decision you make it now, I wouldn't wait.
I think he might have. I like Seth. I think he's a pretty honest, humble guy. I think he'll digest this, and I think if he deep down he thinks he's taken the side as far as he can, or it needs a change, I think he'll do the honourable thing. And if he decides not, I think the English public, the English football fans, got to get behind him, because there's no doubt that we can still do something in the World Cup for me.
Oh well, watch this space. But before we disappear, challenges are going really well. Scores currently 3 to Stu, 2 to Jack. If there's anybody out there that sits there and thinking, oh well, we know of something that'll be quite good fun, let us know, because we are game for most things. You were going to say all things then, weren't you?
I'll go for all things.
No, most things. But today, Jack.